So, bear with me. I'm going to try and do it with this board compass, but it doesn't always do what I want it to do. Right. So this would be where if we were asked to bisect an angle. Okay, what does bisect mean to start with? Cut. So we're going to cut it in half. So it's always a good idea just to kind of visualize what's going to happen. If you're going to bisect this angle, you're going to be drawing a line halfway through it, yes? So just be aware of what you're trying to do before you start. So how do we do that? Right, you place your compass point on this, the vertex of the angle. Okay, you open out your compass to any amount, and then you draw, how do I draw? You draw an arc. Okay, so compass point on the vertex, open it out to any amount, draw an arc. Now you don't change the width of the compass now. You then stick it in one side of where you've gone across the line, and you draw another arc. Okay, you're then going to stick it in the other side of where it crossed the arm, and you're going to draw another arc. So it looks like a big fat mess, just looks like a load of bumps, but you should notice, let's draw it in red, that if we go from this point through this point where those two arcs met, we have bisected our angle. Okay? Okay, another thing we're often asked to do is to draw a perpendicular bisector of a line. Okay, so here's our line here. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter just because it's taking up too much room. So a perpendicular bisector. So what do you think we're going to be drawing? Jamie?
Another line like that way.
This way? Yeah. No, think of the word perpendicular. Yeah. So if it's perpendicular, it's going to be at right angles to this line. But specifically, it's a perpendicular bisector. So what do you think it's going to do? Cut through anywhere? Like, is that my perpendicular bisector? Perpendicular bisector. It's going to cut it in half. So we're going to draw a line that goes through the middle. Now, we can't just draw it randomly. We have to construct it. Oh, which takes me back to this one here. Now, whilst this looks like a big fat mess, you must leave all these marks here to show that you've constructed it. Because otherwise you could have got yourself a protractor, measured, and just drawn a line. Okay, that's not how they want you to do these. They're expecting to see these marks, and if they don't see them, you won't get the marks for it. All right, so a perpendicular bisector of this line. So you stick it in one end of the line. Now, for the angle bisector, it didn't matter how big our compass was opened up to, but for this one, it has to be over halfway. Okay, so it has to be more than halfway. Any amount more than halfway. Once you've done that, you're going to draw an arc both top and bottom. So we're going to draw an arc like that. Okay, then we're going to stick it in the other end.
Oh, I remember this.
Remember, we haven't moved it. Oh, I wonder if I can change this colour. Oh, it's too hard. I won't do that. I don't know what I've just done. Okay, we haven't opened it up. We haven't changed it. We're just going to draw another arc. Okay, and then who's talking? And then we're going to draw a line oops, joining those two marks. Okay? You will find that this is a right angle here, and this is equal to this. Okay, so that's a perpendicular bisector. So, are there any other constructions that you would like to know about? I mean, there are a few others, yes?
Triangle. Did we do triangles?
Yeah, we did. Oh, I didn't think I had to go through that. Okay. Okay, so we are... Now look. Right, we're going to construct a triangle of 10 of length 10, 4, and 8. Okay? So, to start with, you're going to get out your ruler. Okay? I would suggest start with your longest length. You don't have to, but I would start with your longest length. You're going to draw a line. Actually, we're going to draw a line 10 centimeters. So we start at 0 and get to 10. Okay, so there's our 10 centimeter line. Now, we're going to use our ruler as well as our compass. So the next thing we have to do is a side of 4 centimeters. So what we do is we place our compass point on the 0. We open it out. Oops, no. We open it out to 4 centimeters. Oh, mine keeps jumping. I can't make mine exact. Okay, but 4 centimeters. Make sure yours is exact. Then you can stick your compass point in either end of this line. Okay, I'm going to choose to do it this side. And I'm going to draw an arc. Okay. Then I'm going to take my compass back to here. And what do you think you're going to do now? Open it up to 8 centimeters. Oh dear, what have I done? So we're opening it up to 8 centimeters. Okay. You then stick it in this side. And you're going to draw an arc. Oh, sugar popsicles. I've just moved it. And you're going to draw another arc. And what do we think we're going to do now? Yes, Jamie? Yep, so I'm going to draw a thing from here to here. And from here to here. Okay? So that's a triangle of 10, 4, 8. Obviously, it would work for anything. You may be asked to construct an equilateral triangle or a 60-degree angle, both of which would be the same process. Why would drawing an equilateral triangle be the same process as constructing an equilateral triangle, Evelyn? Think about an equilateral triangle. What's the features of an equilateral triangle? Sides are all equal and... So if the sides are all equal, what's also all equal? The angles. And what do we know angles in a triangle add up to? And so if they're all equal, they must all be... If the angles are all equal, there's 3 of them, and they add up to 180, then each angle has to be 60, yes? Okay, so if we're asked to construct a 60-degree angle, it's essentially you're being asked to construct an equilateral triangle. So again, you would measure your first line. I don't really care what it is. I'm just going to say it's that long. Okay, so my first line is however long it's supposed to be. You'd use your ruler if you needed a specific length, obviously. So we take our compass. Oops. We stick it on one end. And we open it up to the length of that line. This is for equilateral or 60 degrees, both of which are the same. Okay, so we've opened it up. Bless you. We're now going to draw an arc. Then we're going to stick him on the other end and draw another arc. And lo and behold, you will find that each of those lengths are equal and each angle is 60 degrees. Okay? If you needed a 30-degree angle, what could you do? Yeah, you could construct a 60-degree angle and then you would... Well, you don't need, it's not perpendicular, you just bisect it. Yeah, so that's that first method we did. So you could draw a 60-degree angle and bisect it if you needed it. The other thing's not as common, but you might be asked to do it, is I've got this line here. I want a 90-degree angle, a 90-degree line to it, but I don't want it in the middle. Okay, you may want it to go through this point here, this X. Okay, so we want to go through this point. I'm going to move it a little bit. Okay, so rather than the middle, I want it to go through here. Now, if you're to do that, actually, no, maybe I'll put it back here. If you're to do that, then what you do is you take your compass. Oops. Oh, I have to move everything down, I think. You stick it in the point that you have to go through. You open it up to an amount, and then you draw an arc. Okay, the amount doesn't matter, we're just going to draw the arc. Now you'll notice that this doesn't attach to anything, so what I would have to do is I would draw an addition to my line. So I would just extend it. Okay, yours would be done a little bit neater than mine. And you don't have to in a different colour, I'm just showing you in a different colour so you can see what I've done. So I've extended my line if I needed to. Okay, do you all see what I did there? So start at the point, draw an arc, extend your line if you need to. Yes. Just randomly up in the air. Yeah. So, for example, if you had to construct a rectangle, for example, you would perhaps want it on the very end. So you could use this method to construct any 90-degree angle. Okay? Right, so we've extended that. Right, now what we do is we take this line, this blue line here, to be our line that we did for here. Okay, so when we drew our perpendicular bisector, we used either end of it, yes? So if you're asked to go through a specific point, you do this bit first, and then you're going to use just the blue portion as your line. So I stick it in here. It has to be more than halfway, which it is. I draw my arc, top and bottom. I then stick it at the other end of the blue line. Draw an arc, top and bottom. And lo and behold, there's your perpendicular line going through the points. Okay? So it's gone through the point that we needed to, and this angle here is 90 degrees. I think they're the only kinds of things that you're asked to do. Everyone happy with all of those? Yeah? Oh, I should say in the video though, but it is really, really, really important to leave your construction marks. I know for those neat freaks among you, you'll be having panic attacks and palpitations and sweating because it's not neat and tidy, but please leave them there because you need to have them there, okay?